Hey everybody, welcome back to Change Your Perspective, Change Your Awareness, Change Your Life. I am Dr. Michelina AF, hashtag that felon doctor, here to talk about financial growth today. And everybody loves financial growth, right? We love making more money. So how do we grow financially? I'm going to tell you right now, let me tell you how you don't grow financially, okay? Working harder, not smarter. Okay, what we do, and when you want to grow financially, you need to change your mindset about your finances. This is why people don't make more money, because they don't change their mindset around their finances. We need new set points, and it all starts in the mind. This is why this mentality changing work is the way in which you change your life. So if you want to grow financially, you need to unlearn the old crusty financial habits that were probably ingrained in you by your family, by society, by the church, by the schools, because at the end of the day, my necklace got caught, guys. At the end of the day, I'm going to say this, and I know you guys probably aren't going to like it. Don't take advice from anybody who hasn't, as far as finances are concerned, who has not studied finance. Right? Don't take advice from people who haven't studied finance. And so the question you should be answering, Michelina, have you studied finance? Yes, thank you. You should be asking that. And yes, I have, in fact. And who have I studied it from? Not broke ass people who don't know what they're talking about. Surrounding myself with people who make money and how. And this knowledge is free now. You can, how to go to heaven and still make one hell of a profit. Sell or Be Sold, Grant Cardone. Read these financial literacy books. There's so many of them. Those two just popped in. So many to change your mindset on finances. Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill all the time, all day. Wallace D. Wattles, The Science of Wealth, I think it's called. If you haven't read these prolific financial texts that all concern changing your mindset so you can change your financial well-being. You're a badass at making money, Jen Sincero. I could give you texts all day. I also obviously studied it with my PhD program, but like I said, you want to be mindful when you study finance from certain institutions, and I am. But when you study finance from people who make money, especially those who went from broke to wealthy, chef's kiss. Now, financial, let's reframe. I love to reframe and redefine things. Financial growth, you need to redefine your level of what wealth looks like to you. What does it mean to be wealthy to you? If you want to financially grow, what does it look like to be wealthy? If you're like, oh, just making ends meet, that's not wealth. That's not thriving. That's not even living. That's surviving. Okay? And when financial topics come up, I like to categorize it as surviving, living, thriving. Where are you at? If you're living paycheck to paycheck, beyond paycheck to paycheck, behind paycheck to paycheck, you're in survival mode financially. If you're in crippling amounts of debt, if you are owing a whole bunch of people a whole bunch of things, if you just declared bankruptcy, you are in survival mode financially. And now, before we go from survival to thriving, we've got to live first. In order for that to happen, we got to change our mentalities. And so the first thing you can do, the best thing you can do, is read everything you can get your hands on how to make money, how to keep money, how to make money work for you. When we're redefining wealth, what we need to consider is wealth is not just measured in terms of money. Wealth is measured in terms of time. Because what is it now? What is it? Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. These are all titles that please go read. Kiyosaki talks about the financial quadrant, the ESBI quadrant. And what he talks about is employees and self-employed peoples are trading time for money. Business owners and investors are just making money, and the time is irrelevant. You want to be on the right side of the quadrant. You want to be on the right side where you're a business owner or an investor. If you're working for somebody else or you're working for yourself, you're never going to thrive financially. I take that back. You're never going to be wealthy. You can thrive financially, but you're going to lose your life in the process. You're going to lose your life in the process. I work with somebody who makes $500,000 a year, but she can't take a vacation. She can't take a vacation. So you wealthy? Not by my definition. I'll tell you that right now. Not by my definition. Anybody who's done the financial work knows the key word is passive income streams. Passive income streams where you make money while you sleep. You're not actively working for the money. The old mentality is work harder, not smarter. The new mentality to get financial growth and to hit that wealth status where you've got freedom of time and money. That's wealth. Freedom of time and money. You want passive income streams. You want money to work for you. You want to work smarter, not harder. You want to be more efficient. And that, honestly, is so hard. It starts mentally because we measure our worth in our work. And the work that we measure in is that we show up and we get paid. And so Robert Kiyosaki says it best. He's like, I worked for my rich dad and didn't make $1 because what he was teaching me was giving me the means to make money. And so when we value things beyond money, that's when we actually get financial growth. It's like, yes, the money is a good vehicle, it's a tool, and it's important, but the mentality is what has to shift for the money to come in. And so, can you make a good living? You know, of course, but you'll still be in living. You won't be in thriving. You will never be in thriving until you shift your mentality around financials and what wealth really looks like. So going back to my surviving, living, thriving, if you're surviving, you need to change your mindset around finances yesterday. And you're probably in a place right now where you're hurting enough to want things to get fixed and better. That's usually the way. When we're surviving or barely, we are desperate to fix things. It's so painful. We're like, get me out of this. Living, you're comfortable. Comfortability is the enemy of progress. So if you're living, you're like, I'm all right. Like, we're okay. Like, me and my husband make X amount of dollars. Like, this is okay. Like, this life is fine. Like, we have a 9 to 5 we don't really like, but we get up and we don't mind it and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, you're living, but you're not going to hit wealth. You're not going to financially grow because you're comfortable, because you're living decently. Now, this is the optimal place to be like, wait a minute, I need to start a business or a side gig or something that's going to make me passive income so I can jump into thriving. But people don't do that in comfortability, because in comfortability, we consume. We become consumers. Survivor mode, we're consuming as well, but it's a necessity consummation for the most part. We're consuming out of necessity. Living is like, oh, well, I'm going to go drop $300 at Target. Instead of dropping $300 on an LLC, finding your passion and producing something that helps people. And then, oh, guess what? Now you've got a business. Now you've got a somewhat passive income stream. People don't do it. You have to work smarter, not harder. The living mode is a great place to start redirecting cash flow. People don't do it because they're comfortable. Thriving. Now, again, if we're talking about definitions, that could be anything for anybody. You know, to thrive doesn't have a set dollar amount. What works for one person won't work for another. You know, some people want $100,000. Some people want $500,000. Some people want $1 million. Some people are good with $50,000 and their you know, expenses are only $30,000 and they're like, I'm thriving right now. Cool. Love that for everybody. You know what I mean? Thriving is freedom. I'm free to get up and do what I want with my day. I'm free to spend if I want to spend or not spend if I don't want to spend. You want to thrive? Get free. You want to get free? Redefine wealth. You want wealth? Redefine your mindset. It'll change your life. And we've got 98% of the people that won't do it. 98% that won't do it. Because it involves risk taking. It involves investment in self. And everybody wants self-help, but they're looking at the help aspect. They're not looking at the self aspect, right? That's why we're building an academy, so that we can all come back to self and learn these 7 things and put them into practice and get a one-stop shop for everything. And again, the Academy is launching next month. But at the end of the day, you want to change your life, change your finances. Nothing changes a life faster than financial growth. And in order to change your finances and your mindset around finance, you've got to do the work. The mental work comes first. The mental work comes first. So do it. Get the books I mentioned. I can't even remember all the titles. I think I dropped like 6. Any of them. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, You're a Badass at Making Money, Jen Sincero, How to Get to Heaven and Make One Hell of a Profit. I forget who, name's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember. Sell or Be Sold, Grant Cardone. I think I mentioned maybe one more. Oh, Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. That's 6 right there. And they're $10. $10 investment, and however long it takes you to read the book and take copious notes. I will tell you, Jen Sincero's text or Grant Cardone's text are the most user-friendly. Napoleon Hill and Wallace Wattles are the least user-friendly. They're the most complex language because they're older. Wallace D. Wattles wrote that in like the 20s, and I think Napoleon Hill wrote his in like the 20s to the 50s or something. Whereas like Jen Sincero is current and like, I mean, You're a Badass at Making Money, right? Like very relatable, very palatable. Grant Cardone, again, they are contemporary. Cardone and Sincero are contemporary. They're still alive. They're still making money. And they didn't come from money. None of these people came from money. Same with Robert Kiyosaki, also still alive. Didn't come from money. He had a middle class background. Anyway, so read the text, listen up, start consuming things that are going to teach you financial literacy, teach you financial growth mindset. Hopefully this helps, because we are here to bring you back to self and give you freedom. And a lot of times freedom has to do with wealth. I mean, you want to be wealthy, get free. You want to be free, get wealthy. So if you like what you're seeing here, subscribe, comment below, hit the bell, tell your friends, grow the channel. Comment below if you want some kind of a topic I can cover if I'm able to cover it. I will not cover something I do not know about or have not lived through or have not studied myself. So suggestions welcome, but not guaranteed. And I will see you guys on the next video.